I'd like to welcome you into this new podcast where I will be reading from the different channeled messages that I receive from Spirit, the Divine, Earth Mother, and the Grandmothers. And my intention with these is to support you during this time, or whenever it is that you receive these messages, when they find you. As the grandmothers like to say, they are the ones who do the calling, and I'm simply here showing up and offering this to you. If you would like to dive deeper into the work of the grandmothers, the Great Council of Grandmothers, and the Net of Light, I urge you to please visit netoflight.org. Sharon Mackerlane brought this iteration of the grandmothers through about 30 years ago, and as soon as I've tapped into that energy field, they've opened up for me as well. And if you are new to my work, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an intuitive, a soul-level evolutionary astrologer, and a channel. If you are needing support, guidance at this time, do please reach out. You'll find all the information in my offerings at my website at chrissywhistler.com. And if you find this helpful, this meditation, this medicine from the grandmothers, do me a favor and at the end of this to please like this video, this audio, so I know this is something that you would like to see, to hear, and to receive more of. And to receive this, I would really recommend you finding a nice quiet place where you can really sit and drop in to receive the words, the voice, the messages that are coming through. Perhaps with your feet planted firmly on the ground and feeling the strength, the holding of our Earth Mother, holding you up. And perhaps you might enjoy laying down with your eyes closed, allowing this to receive, to filter through your whole body and being. You might even enjoy having a notebook nearby, so if the grandmothers do come through and speak and share messages for you, you're able to write them down. And you might hear in the background my children having a really good time playing together. So just know they are here as well, the energy and the voice of the children, as well, of course, as the grandmothers. So as I said, go ahead now and gently close your eyes and simply receive. As I entered the circle of standing stones, there was mist all around, but there was no one else here. I didn't see the grandmothers this time, but I felt them. I actually found it difficult to think what question I should ask them, what guidance to ask for all of us at this time, because there was just so much happening in the world. I felt emotional at this realization, the weight of this moment, the importance, the overwhelm. Actually, I hadn't been able to feel the depth of my overwhelm until this moment of being in this space with the grandmothers, this space that was being held by them. It wasn't safe to feel this, I realized. Outside of this space, outside of the grandmothers and their love, it wasn't safe. What was happening in our world right now, all of it, it simply wasn't safe to feel this, to feel into the depth of this. I yawned deeply. This old energy that was being cleared from my system. Curious. It felt like this was part of the message from the grandmothers, even with them not yet being here. Although they were here. Yes, they said, we are always here. You simply have to remember that we are here. Ask us to be here, and we are. It is easy to forget in your world that has been so cut off from the divine, from the truth of the divine, that the divine is always here. It is always connected to you. It has never and will never be separate from you. They said all this, but it was still simply voices coming out from the mist, and yet still so comforting because I could feel them. This, I realized, was the message. This is what it's like, grandmothers, I said. When I'm outside of this space, when I am out in the world, you are not standing beside me, where I can see you and touch you, and yet you are still standing beside me, even when I can't see you. Is that what you're wanting to teach me? To show me? Yes. The grandmothers slowly materialized from the mist. Grandmothers of all colors, of all nationalities, with their clothes spanning across many eras, far, far back even, to natives and people who've long been removed from the earth. Even as I watched them, it was like their clothing and visage changed, because they were not simply one thing or one time, but all. They hold and represent all times, all peoples, from when we first became human. Human, they whispered. That was something I was feeling very deeply from the astrology right now. This remembering what it means to be a human. This process of humans slowly unmasking to truly see ourselves for who we are and where we are in our evolution. The grandmothers smiled at me. Yes, this is what so many have forgotten. It is not their fault. It is simply the way and the process of these things, of this moment, and it is magnifying. Yes, this process of breaking down others to see them less than human. I felt myself getting very emotional. Tears, grief, all of it swam through me right then, filling me. Grandmothers, we're seeing that everywhere. And it's really bad what we are doing to other human beings. What my country is doing to other human beings. And it breaks my heart, especially when I see other people cheering this on. And grandmothers, I don't know what to do because I'm not okay with this. And I'm not okay going back into a time where this behavior and these actions are okay. What I find so hard is how small I feel, how insignificant. This feeling of being a very small minority standing against the masses who are holding on to hate, anger, fear. As I sat here in the circle, opening myself up to these fears, these energies, I realized the reason they felt so overwhelming was because they were not just mine. I thought of all the people in my country who felt this way, and all over the world, this burning desire to take a stand, to act, and this constant rhetoric that we were told we are not enough, that there was nothing we could do against the system, against the mass of people who prefer to hold anger and fear rather than to sit with their own. Yes, the grandmother said. They came forward then, wrapping their arms around me, holding me, giving me the space to grieve, to open up, to feel this deep sense of hopelessness within the collective. This story that our governments had told us, that have been ingrained in our institutions. I saw these brick walls, brick buildings that had been hammered into the earth with an iron fist, so strong that it could not be moved. I realized that this was what it looked like to the people who were grieving, the people who felt the spark igniting, and this anger they held within. The grandmothers continued to hold me. They anchored me as I opened to this collective stream of feelings, grief, anger, despair. It is important, they said, to take the time to sit with what you feel. You cannot run and skip over this part, because it is through feeling that will inform you, that will teach you, that will guide you through and into what comes next. Take whatever time you need throughout the day, throughout the night. Call on us. Ask us to hold you and allow yourself the space to feel, to sit here in this space, in your heart, and open and receive and learn. I had a sense of what the grandmothers were speaking of, especially when they said the word learn, but I needed more clarity. I chuckled to myself. Here I was thinking about how feeling wasn't enough. And wasn't that what the grandmothers were teaching me? They each gave me a nod and almost a little wink too. Or at least that was what their nod felt like to me. Yes, they said, you must feel. Too many wish to skip over this part, but you cannot. If you cannot feel, and you cannot learn from what you feel, then you will simply recreate the same mistakes, the same patterns that you have already been making. And the earth and we will not allow you to make that same mistake again, to simply try again. No. Now is the time that you learn this lesson. Earth Mother will make sure that you do. So start now. I felt the energy of the planet Jupiter, this expansive energy bringing in like a magnifying glass where it now is in the zodiac sign of Cancer. This need to hold, to create and be part of safe spaces. Truly held safe spaces, just as the grandmothers were doing now with me. Yes, they said. As the world goes through what it is going through, this lesson here, they lifted their arms from my shoulders before slowly placing them back down on me, hands squeezing, fingers tightening, just gently though, as if that reassuring comfort and touch to say, we are here. This is what you are needing to learn. This is what you are learning to hold for yourself first, and then for others, for the all of the collective of humanity. What your stories, your governments, your institutions, your patriarchy has told you is wrong. It has told you that you are insignificant, that your light is not bright, that your life can do nothing on its own. What you will, what you desire, matters not. This is not true. It has never been true. And now you are at this time of awakening, of remembering the brilliance of the light that you hold. You may only be one of many surrounding you who are able to see all around you as human. Your patriarchy would say that you are insignificant, that you are not and cannot turn the tide. They are wrong. They lied to you. One of the grandmothers reached for me, touching my chest above my heart, her fingers there at the base of my throat. My voice, which for most of my life had been silenced because of my father, because of how I was raised, in the family I was raised in, this belief that my voice didn't matter. The grandmother leaned forward until her forehead gently touched mine. Your voice matters. Your voice is great because you first took the time to feel, to open to all those around you, to see them, even seeing them in their anger, in their fears, in their own distorted views of reality. You saw them, even as you did not agree with them. You still saw them. You felt them. You held them in your heart. When you speak now, you speak from that space, from that place. And that light cannot and will not be denied. It cannot be snuffed out or overwhelmed as they told you it would be. They are lying. They have always been lying, for your light is that great. And your light, with all the others who come together now, hold this power. Within this moment, it cannot be denied. So do not deny yourself now. In this moment, do not do their work for them. To stay small, to dim, to snuff out because of these old beliefs. The grandmothers wiggled their fingers. This is your task now, and what we ask you to share with all others who come to our message. Do not do their work for them. We are no longer in that time. That was the past, and this now. The grandmothers all held up their hands, and suddenly, above me, was the brilliant night sky, completely lit with thousands, millions of stars. As I looked up in awe, my mouth dropping open, I could see how they were all connected in together. Brilliant, lighted stars on this great lighted fishing net, the net of light. This is how bright you are. Not small, not single, not on your own, even if it feels like it. This is the truth of who you are and how connected you are to all that is. Now is the time for you to open, to feeling, to seeing even those who are rooted in their anger and hate, to see them still as who they are, to hold them in your hearts, and then to stand forward and shine brilliantly anyway. Your light is brighter than you know. Your light holds a power and a command that is stronger than you know. And when you stand, when you shine, when you speak, now, more than ever before, this time you will be heard. you will be seen. The ripples of what you hold will go far deeper, greater, and wider than you can ever believe possible. This is what we ask you to now hold. This is what we now ask you to anchor into. Power. The brilliance that each single soul of you, each single person holds. And then remember, they whispered, the connections that you hold, the connections bringing you into the greater whole. You do not shine alone. And when you speak, when you stand, the voices and the light of all the others you are connected into comes through and cannot and will not be denied. Hold to this power. Call on this power that is and always has been you. When it feels ready, to slowly come back to your body, perhaps wiggling your fingers, your toes, gently opening your eyes, seeing the colors, the shadows, the many shades of both, as you orientate to the room that you are in. As you feel the message from the grandmothers anchoring into you. Thank you all so much for being here. Please let me know if this message was helpful for you. Any insights, thoughts, reflections coming through that you'd like to share, you're welcome to leave in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this message, please like it, and please share it with any others that you feel could use this right now at this time. Thank you all so much for being here and for receiving this message from the grandmothers. And again, if you'd like to know more, please visit netoflight.org. And if you need that one-on-one support and guidance, please reach out. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.